Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge. Today is day 100. 100 days of yoga, that is fantastic. So I said that I had a treat for you, and I have a treat that's just about to be given to you. However, they've got another couple of treats coming. One is a Corona Yoga t-shirt, which was inspired by a couple of friends on Facebook with the kind of eat, sleep, yoga, repeat. So that's coming, so that if you want to celebrate by buying the t-shirt, you can go, yes, 100 days, done it. And the other thing is that I have a Corona Yoga home practice journal coming. Anyway, on to the bigger treat, maybe or maybe not. I should give you a little bit of a warning. I haven't told anyone I'm doing this because I'm sure people would convince me not to because it's such a bad idea. But I've not told anyone, so nobody told me not to do it, so I'm going to do it. You thought I was going to wear a beautiful dress and do yoga really inappropriate clothes, and yes, I'm so up for that in some ways, but what I've got for you is so much worse. It was supposed to be the t-shirt, you know, just eat, sleep, yoga, repeat, but no, what I've got for you, are you ready? Are you ready? What I've got for you is, yes, an entire whole bodysuit of muscles, anatomy, fantastic. I know, it's just so, and look, breasts up here, massive, so wrong, but fantastic. So this is my celebration of 100 days of yoga. Congratulations. And it requires a celebration dance. So now for some yoga, some nice, steady, grounded yoga. If you want to bring yourself to sitting with legs out in front, get that feeling of lifting up and onto the tailbones and the shoulders relaxing down the back of the body. So we get a feeling of lengthening up from the lower back, and then hands and arms just soften out and down. And then you're going to bring one leg in towards you. So it might be the leg comes in a little bit, might be a bit, or might be all the way in. You're going to draw your heel in towards you and then roll out and down through this knee. So there's a movement of the knee coming out and down this way, but there's also a movement lengthening out and round that way, and you can maybe see that with a super duper suit. Other leg, we're going to take that round the back if it wants to. So you can just lift your hip up, settle your heel back and round behind you so that your foot is close in beside your hip. You're going to sit up and onto the sit bones from here. Shoulders relax down the back of the body. And then you're going to ease yourself round and towards your front knee. So away from your feet. So as that happens, we've got that wrapping round movement across the rib cage. And the shoulders keep softening down and away. And then bring yourself back to the centre and to your first side. Or to the side you've not done to yet. So towards your feet. Bring yourself back to the centre. You're going to bring your back leg, settle it on top of your front leg. Hands on the floor, you can roll both legs over to, or both knees over to the other side. So from here, this knee is going to stay here, while the leg is going to extend back. So we come to that similar position as the first time. This foot at the back is going to rotate round and underneath your hips, so you can drop down through this hip and into the foot and into the floor beneath you. And then this heel can come up and in towards you. So we get that feeling of that little lift up and through the pelvis, and the kind of rooting down through the pelvis, particularly on this side, the side of the back foot. You're going to bring your hands comfortably onto your knees, let your shoulders relax down, and then move out and away from your feet. So get that feeling of that lengthening up through the spine to come round. Bring yourself to the centre and to the opposite side. And then you're going to come all the way back to the centre. Hands are going to relax onto your knees, elbows soften as this happens. Look at that lovely lengthening out across the shoulders. And then you're going to bring your back leg, you're going to settle it on top of the other one. And you're going to let both knees come up so that you're sitting onto your sit bones, but we've got, instead of that rounding back, that we're lifting up so that we're drawing up and in towards the thighs, and the shoulders release down. Oh, they're very noisy. And sitting back and up into the sit bones, and then up so the shoulders release down. We're going to come onto the floor now, so onto your back. So if you bring yourself to this kind of seated position, and then you're going to consciously start to round the back. So you can see what has to happen here is these lovely muscles up through the front. You need to draw back a little bit so that the back rounds. And then you're going to let your feet come in towards you and then slowly ease yourself onto the ground so that you can let your legs lengthen out. And you're going to bring yourself to just that comfortable lying on your back feeling. So there's a feeling of width out across the tummy, there's a widening out across the shoulders, and the hands can relax onto the floor. So from here, you're going to take your hands down beside the sides of your body, and you're going to start to press into your elbows to gently lift up through the shoulders. And the head stays really well grounded on the floor. Slide yourself back out, shoulders meet the floor again. So this is fish pose. So what we're going to have the option of doing now is taking the hands underneath you. So you bend your knees up, take your hands one on top of or side by side, depending on what suits your body. Extend the legs out. The legs are close in towards one another, and the legs are straight and the arms are straight. So we've got that feeling of the hands drawing far away from you. So even from here, we've got the start of that movement of coming into fish pose already. That's one of the benefits of taking the hands beneath your hips. And then from here, elbows are close in towards one another. Press in through the elbows, lift up through the chest, stay steady down through your head, and start to extend your toes away a little bit so we get a feeling of lengthening through the shins, through the fronts or the tops of the feet. And then just slide your head back and onto the floor. Bend your knees back up again. Lift your hips up, spread your hips wide, soften and relax onto the floor. And notice how you feel right now. So we've just done a back bend, we've done a twist. We're just beginning to waken the body up and notice how it feels. And then you're going to come onto one side. So you're going to let your knees roll over so you can rest onto one side for a moment. And then you're going to bring yourself up and to sitting. And we're going to come up to a standing forward bend. So we're going to come up to standing. So if you want to bring yourself, in fact let's do it through coming through a squat. So from kneeling, if you bring yourself into all fours with hands close in, you're going to walk your hands back towards your knees. You're going to draw your heels down towards the floor. So we sink down through the hips, down through the heels. And then we're going to press down through the feet to lift up with the hips. The head hangs down, knees remain a little bit soft, shoulders release down, and the back of the neck lengthens. And then bend through the knees, spread wide and up through the hands, all the way up and overhead. And then hands come down to your heart. So we're going to come into triangle pose from here. And so from a standing position, if you take just a comfortable medium-ish step forward, and you're going to have both feet facing straight forwards along your mat. So can you see on that back calf that we're going to extend down through the back half so that we're extending the heel in towards the floor. So we get a real grounded and rooted feeling down through that back heel. You're going to let your shoulders come up and forward, so we've got that feeling of lengthening out. So from here we've got to get that feeling of life coming up through the front leg. Your hand's going to rest somewhere comfortably onto your front leg, so it might be higher, it might be lower. And then your free hand's going to come out and round. And you can gently extend further into it if you want to, provided that the lower back is really, really comfortable and the legs are really nice and strong. And then you're going to bring your hand onto the back of your body, rotate round to look at down at your foot, and then press down through your feet to bring yourself up and back to standing. And then opposite side. So nice comfortable step back for you. Same thing, lift that back heel and then gently sink down through the back heel to really ground down. And then from there you're going to lift yourself up and forwards. So that nice long back feeling and long strong leg through this front side particularly, and down through that back heel still. From here you can let your hand come out and round. You can let your hand come lower on your leg only if it feels really, really happy, easy, steady. And then bring your hand onto the back of your body. Bring yourself round to look at that front foot again. Press in through the feet to bring yourself up and back to standing. So settled and even feet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come into a tree pose. So do you see my quadricep coming up here? I'm going to settle my heel into this area. So not on the quadricep and not further back. So that's an ideal place. So you're going to let your foot lift up. You're going to settle your heel into that area, sink it in. Hands are going to come wide. You're going to lift all the way up and overhead, down through the foot on the floor, and then extend your hands out and down, and release your leg down. And then to that opposite side. So the foot is going to lift up and leg is going to lift up. You're going to direct your heel into this little area or down onto your ankle if it's better for you. Stay nice and steady and strong through the standing leg. Hands are going to come up and overhead. Shoulders release down. And then extend your hands all the way out and down. And release your foot. Come back to both feet even on the floor. So we're going to come to sitting now. So if you just want to bring yourself to a comfortable, easy position for you. So I'm just going to come into a nice, easy kind of heels in front of one another cross-legged position. But you can sit in any way that works for you. So we're just going to do some nice, easy breathing. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing. Start to follow the rhythm of your breath, so you're allowing it to become easier and easier, and you're allowing it to start to flow so it gets a little bit longer and a little bit longer. But without really any effort, that is just by easing into this moment that almost happens naturally. So your challenge of the day is to celebrate 100 days of yoga, however it is for you, whether it's putting on that dress that you thought I was going to put on, but I didn't put on, whether it's some weird suit like this, or whether you're just going to go out and have a nice chocolate bar, I don't know. But celebrate. Today is a day for celebration. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.